G, bro. How you doing?
Damn, nigga, let me do the intro first. All right, cool. Nigga said, how you doing? I'm doing excellent,
We're
though.
gonna start off a little light, talk. You know what I'm saying? Just gotta ease into the conversation a little bit. All right. Yeah, go
I'm
for it.
I'm doing, I'm doing good. It's been a break. I know, life got ahead of me and all that. Last episode was about 9 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, but I'm back and gleaming. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, bro. I see it about health, bro. I like it about health.
you know what I'm saying, welcome back to the conglomerate. This is gonna be episode, I believe, this episode, season 1, episode 4, and this is gonna be the next 2-3 episodes gonna be a little bit of a 2-3 parter because Sassy Entity just doesn't know how to send me their emails. Looking at y'all, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. Season 1, episode 4, the conglomerate. Welcome back, ladies and germs. Today I have the very slept on, very knowledgeable, very handsome Jasmine Suleiman.
Stop it, bro.
Yeah, baby. What, man? This nigga,
What's going on, B? What's going on?
man. It's
I-
okay.
I'm happy
First,
that we're finally getting to do this after so long.
I'm sorry, bro. You got school and all that. I'm about to graduate in like a month and all that. But yeah, life is a. I don't want to cuss because I'm fasting, but like life is but right now, honestly. But
Life is a whore. She's a whore. You really just have to you know, you gotta be alpha with this shit. You know what I'm saying? She can either take you over, you can take her over. You gotta pull the reins.
you gotta make her the sub. You gotta be the dominant one. You gotta make her the submissive one, right? But
That's right.
say man, okay. First off, Ramadan Kareem. You know what I'm saying? We on day 11, I think. Day to 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, like almost 2 weeks in.
Yeah, it honestly flew by fast. Like I kind of would just like wake up, sleep until like 1, hop on the game, play until like 4, and then eat, hop back on the game, mix, and go to sleep. Call it a day. But
Sounds like one schedule.
yeah, man. But what's going on? What's going on in the life of Mr. Satis, man? Let me hear something, bro. What you? Oh, no, first of all, since you mentioned being busy and all that, I don't even know what you majoring in still.
That's crazy. No, I'm a political science and philosophy major, double majoring.
So you gonna be the next? Are you gonna be the next? What his name?
Trying to think of the one philosopher he has in mind. Nah, but so
What?
like as of now, my plans like post graduation, I want to like I'm thinking I have a couple of trajectories I'm thinking of headed in. Like I might do a master's in international politics,
Mhm.
and then go to law school, or I might just go to law school, or I might drop the whole thing entirely and do something completely different, get a PhD, become a professor. I'm like in between a crossroads, or I might just drop out of college. So it's a very varied bag. It's a very varied bag. But it's going well. My studies are pretty busy because I'm taking some upper level classes, 400 level classes, 300 level classes. Like they're pretty demanding. Um, but yeah, like during the week, what I do is I work really hard during the week. I don't fuck around during the week, and then the weekend comes and I try to party hard and have a good time.
All right, Sneeko. What's it called? Talking about dropping out of college and all that.
So
But let's go. Why politics? Because me personally, I cannot stand politics.
I can't stand politics either. It's just I feel like someone has to do it, and I feel like there aren't too many people who are sincere and have good intentions in politics.
Mhm.
They're all like fucking businessmen, and they all say something, and they market themselves one way, and they market their ideas one way, but they're actually selling you something completely different. So they're really like snake oil salesmen. They're full of shit. but that's exactly why it's a field that I want to go into. Aside from it just being interesting, aside from all the facade, I think it needs some sincerity, and I like to think of myself as sincere.
Oh, so you're trying to like go in and change from like the inside, like if not all the systems, some of like the infrastructure. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of politicians like they go into their career trying to do that. And the thing that still scares me is like a lot of politicians think that way and think that they're doing that. I think that Obama, for example, was someone who sincerely wanted to affect change, but he ended up just becoming a puppet of the same system that he hated. In my opinion, at least, right? And
Yeah.
so I see that that's a path that I could easily fall into that I don't want to. So I'm always conscious of that.
Hmm. Now, speaking of Obama, right? How do you feel? I'm sure you've seen the Boondocks, right?
Yeah, so I get that.
And I said,
The Wi-Fi is kind of trippy right now.
no, you straight, bro. What's it called? I'm sure you've seen the Boondocks, right? Like the show.
I still didn't get that. Yo, do you want me to go ahead and ask my roommate to reset the Wi-Fi because right now
Yeah.
it's pretty bad. I don't want to have this going on the entire way
All right, but
or something like that. But I'll be right back.
all right, bro. My nuts itch. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Thank you. Just unplug it from the wall.
Relax, bro. Relax, bro.
Yo,
Are we straight now?
yeah, I think we should be good now. My apologies, bro.
Nigga straight. I brought a friend.
Hey,
Yo, like I was saying, since you talking about how like Obama, he essentially became like what he swore to destroy, right? Um, I'm,
yeah,
I'm sure you've seen the show of the Boondocks, right?
I've seen a couple of episodes. Yeah,
Yeah, it was an episode in particular. It was touching upon like the whole show is like a social satire, obviously, but
yeah,
it was one episode where this nigga Huey, right? He was trying to like wrap his head around the fact that because the show was made during like the whole like the Obama election, like midway through. So it was at one point in the episode. Get your tail out the way. It was at one. It was one episode where this nigga Huey he's trying to wrap his head around the fact that it was black people voting for Obama just because he was black,
mm.
and the whole episode was just him going around trying to like convince him not to vote for Obama because he knows how coons function. And so he was like sitting on like street corners, putting up signs, whatever. He was just trying to like show the word. And obviously the people that's crazy to me.
Walking all over the
So
keyboard and shit.
crazy to me. All right, hold on. Let me let her out. All right, but she better. Anywho, yeah, but And then the episode ends with Obama getting elected, Uncle Ruckus killing himself because they had a black president. like he tried hanging himself at the end of the episode.
Uncle Ruckus is too much, man.
And then, so yeah, I just want to like, how do you feel about the niggas who voted for Obama just because he was black?
Man, it's like it upsets me, because like when you have someone like Joe Biden who was part of the Obama administration, who goes on the Breakfast Club and says, if if you if you're wondering who to vote between me and Trump, I'm paraphrasing, then you're just not black. Like it's just perpetuating the idea that black people vote in a monolith, or in other words, like all black people have the same ideas, like all in sync. And it takes away independent thinking from the black community. And I think independent thinking in the black community is something that is honestly lacking. When you're in schools and you're around your friends and they're like, "Oh, you're talking white right now." It's like, what does that mean? Is it because I'm speaking eloquently? Is it because I'm using good vocabulary? Is it because I'm speaking the English language and not what the fuck you guys are talking about? You know, uh, just because I listen to this music genre, am I less black than you? Just because I don't do that, you know what I'm saying? So like, we already have a problem with independent thinking, and I think this has been a byproduct of, well, in African Americans' case, slavery,
I'm not.
trauma.
How you gonna FaceTime me when I tell you? My bad. Continue.
Nah, I was saying in the African Americans' case, it's kind of a case of generational trauma and slavery. It's a sort of mindset that they keep them in. And
Mm.
then in our cases, as Sudanese Americans, it's really just trying to fit in. It's trying to fit in with what's going on, because as Sudanese Americans in America, you're neither African American, you
No,
know,
you Sudanese.
exactly. And so you're somewhere in the middle and you're trying to make sense of your identity. But and to do that and to try and try to, like, assimilate to either one or the other, you have to sacrifice parts of yourself. You have to sacrifice parts of your independent thinking in order to conform with the group and be accepted by the group. And so we already have a problem with this fucking independent thinking. So here comes along Obama, someone who is a smooth talker. He knows exactly what he's saying. He's very charismatic. Um, and he says all the right things. You know, it's like a guy with really good game talking to a girl that's really insecure. You know, it's like he knows exactly what her insecurities are. He knows exactly how to make her feel the best way about herself, and then so she will love him because he makes her feel a certain type of way.
Mm.
And that's what's going on in America with what went on with Obama.
Look, what
That's
if,
my take on it. Yeah.
what if we look? This is something. Look, believe it or not, a crackhead actually told me this, and I've never forgotten this. It was a nigga in back when I was in DC living there
Okay.
for a bit. He told me this when I was 6, and it still hasn't left my head. He said, "A nigga with a book is more dangerous than a nigga with a gun," and it didn't make any sense at first, but then like thinking about it now, it's like, huh, like 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 this nigga spitting for real, like he
That's right. That's some crackhead wisdom right there.
this niggas like, and then that got me thinking, right? I'm like you like always be parents talking about some trying to force like day kids, and because like this, right? What's the difference between an Asian household, like the average Asian household, and an average black household, right? In America, right? This one wants their kids to dedicate all their free time to studying to open up their own office to become a doctor, PhD holder, whatever. And then on this hand, it's all physical, sports based. Or they want to go to this D1 school. They want to throw that ball that many yards. They want to and jump this high. They want to be this tall so they can get drafted to the Hornets. Don't it look, if you are a basketball fan and you spend all your time training this stuff in college and high school, and you could draft it to the Charlotte Hornets, I'm sorry, but that's beside the point. The point is, it's like we're not taken serious at all, like in any capacity. Like I was at work the other day, right?
Yeah.
And my job, I work at Home Depot, right? So my job is literally just like the most barbaric stage one thing. See heavy object, pick up heavy object, put there, and then leave, right? But then it was,
Yeah.
it was this one Asian lady. She came up to me and she needed help with loading something in her car, or whatever, right? So I'm like, all right, bet. And she had like 100 bags of like so and so. We get to bag like 47. We get to bag 47. And then she goes, damn, it's unstable. But this lady looks me in the eye when I'm breaking my back and goes, pass me on my cheek and goes,
Yeah, I'm losing.
am I like, you good?
You're back now a little bit.
Okay.
Well, I lost you from. You said that she wanted you to pick up some bags and put them in
Yeah.
your car.
All right, yeah. So I'm doing this. We get to, and it's about 80 bags. We get to bag 47. And she unironically looks me in the eye and says, my son can be friends with you. You're a very good boy,
Mm.
and stuff like that. And I'm like, thanks. And then when you driving off, I was like, she did not just. And then khalas, she been left, and I was like, she really like. That means that her whole life, any young black man she has seen up until that point, she did not take serious or even consider to be like the same level of like worthy of respect as her. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that she said that her children could like be in the same spaces as me and she wouldn't mind is just like so fucking mind blowing.
See, like, no, like the thing is, you have to take these things, like, at least for me, with a grain of salt. Because look, there's like this is the problem right now, I think, with a lot of people's mindsets, right? If you step into any room with your group identity, basically meaning your black identity being forefront, then any small microaggression, as they so call it, will translate, and you will register it as to do with your race. But something that I've found is that the world responds a lot less to your race and a lot more to who you are as a person and the way that you act in the world. And in the specific scenario that you're describing, like for me at least, like the way I would take that is just like, oh, that's really nice, like because I feel like Asian, like I've encountered, a lot of like Indian families. Like a lot of my friends are Indian, and
Oh yeah,
their parents are Indian, obviously. They're probably like first generation British or whatever it may be. And in a more traditional cultural sense, like it's just like us in Sudan, man. It's like we're all community, we're all together. It's all culture, it's all like one thing, like all of us are the same. In the States, it's like there's this idea that my family unit and your family unit, my community and your community. In Sudan, or in like more Eastern cultures, you can think of it as like it's communal.
yeah.
It's like my dad when he was on the streets of Sudan doing some bullshit, fucking around, being a fuckboy on the streets. Some guy from the house all the way down the street would come outside and slap him across the face a couple of times and tell him how to behave himself. Like, you weren't just raised by your parents, you were raised by the hood, you were raised by the neighborhood, you were raised by the
Oh God,
community, you were
yeah,
raised by the country. And so even for her, when she saw you, she was like, oh shit, like this is just like my son. Like he could just be, it's the same thing. Like that's what I could take it. It's like, and the thing is, even if I'm wrong and your interpretation is correct, interpreting it my way would at least keep you away from having that victimhood mentality. You know what I'm saying?
but
Like
like,
you wouldn't lose anything by interpreting it that way.
yeah, I feel you. Like, like, like me personally, I'm not like a strict like adherent to the whole the joint where it's like we're all like equal and we all stand like look like there's nothing wrong with being like like idealistic and all that and like wanting it to be like true, you know what I'm saying? But statements like oh we all start at the same place, oh we all have an equal chance, we do for the most part, we do have an equal chance at most opportunities and systems, most of them. But the statement we start from the same place is just so false. It just makes me like sick to my stomach whenever I hear it. Cause like you see a nigga living in like the suburbs of like Ohio, right? And this dude probably has
Yeah.
access to like hella more resources and stuff like that. And then you see
Yeah, sure.
a nigga living in like zone 7 Atlanta. He like 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 barely gets to, like, I mean, like he still has like a family identity, like family unit, you know what I'm saying? But this nigga more often I probably doesn't know his father. He probably doesn't know when he's gonna eat, doesn't know when he's gonna get to eat next. And it's that like, and it's the reason why we see so many like successful artists out of like southern states, and they're almost always like trap artists and like rap artists, because like when you want something bad, you're gonna put everything you have into it. It's the reason why we barely see any niggas from like the north of the US try to be on like there are many like successful like northern artists and all that, but like they're not as hungry as niggas from the south, because like they pretty much have nothing. So when
Yeah, no, no, that's a great point because like when like look, you see like even some rich people, some rich kids, they end in a really weird fetishistic way, right? So like
the
it's because they have nothing that they can, that they can be bold enough to want everything, you know? But if you were born with everything, you have no hunger for those things that that other person was deprived of their entire life, right? We're fasting now, right? The person who just had lunch versus us who haven't eaten since, since suhoor, like early in the morning, or in my case, not since yesterday night because I didn't wake up for suhoor. We are way more hungry for that food than they would be. They just ate. Their stomach is full, you know?
yeah
I'm hungry right now. I want to chase that. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing that can translate there. People are envious that they're not hungry enough. But it's like you have to realize like your passion and everything you do in life has to stem from like in my opinion, the deepest pain in your life. The most successful people have something fucking wrong with their head because no matter what heights they reach, they still have a poor man's mentality. They're like, oh no, I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't made it. I haven't because they tell you the second that you think that you made it, you you haven't made it. You fell off. The second that you think that you made it, right? So people who are successful, you look at people who have no ceilings, people like Jay-Z, they have no ceilings, but I can tell you that guy up here, he's a maniac. He's a maniac for success.
like
He's a
this
maniac for success.
like
And
this
there's something pathological about that.
go on, I'm
No, no,
listening.
that was it. That was it. That was it. That was it.
Like, it got me kind of curious now. What you mean by a lot? I mean, the fact that he was hip hop's first billionaire, it's like it's showing you that like he's probably not gonna stop getting money. He's probably gonna go on to be the first trillionaire. No, 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 the first trillionaire, and then so on, so on. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, do you think it's healthy to like still like main? I mean, I don't want to say to like stop striving and stuff like that, but like stop striving, like be complacent. Like after a certain point, right? Like with Jay-Z, right? Even even let's
Mhm.
say like Jay-Z,
Yeah.
Eminem, for example, even if they fall right now as we speaking, it's like they would
They
still have
did.
like a fat cushion to just go back up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like at this point, would you really blame Jay-Z
Yeah.
if he was to just like kind of just like stop doing what he's doing and like kind of just like thrive off all his assets until he dies?
Yo, absolutely not, bro. Like I couldn't tell any man how to live their life. I mean, like I think it's a really individualistic thing, but I think that there's a funny catch. Like the people who want to get rich so they can work, so they can stop working, never get rich. It's the people who just love working who become rich. You
That's
know,
me.
it's like you can't exactly you can't look at the working as a vehicle. The working can't be a vehicle for it. You know what I'm saying? Like the richness can't be a destination, right? Wealth can't be a destination. You already have to have the wealth inside you. You know, the work has to be your wealth. You're generating your own wealth. You have your own wealth already. You know, you won before you even entered the arena. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the people that get rich. But the funny thing about that is that you can't fake that. You can't fake that kind of wealth. You have to truly be in love with what it is that you're doing. And that goes back to passion. You know, like, if you don't have passion for something, a true burning passion, then you're never going to make it anywhere with that thing, because there's 100,000 other people out there with a burning passion in that same thing. That's why I tell people who go to school just because their parents make them go to school for engineering or whatever it be. I'm like, yo, like, that's cool, do that, but do you really like what you're doing? Do you really see yourself in that career? Because there's motherfuckers out there that are going to eat you alive. You know what I'm saying? There are
Yeah.
people out there that love this shit. They breathe this shit, you know? So like, and look, so, not everyone, and this is something I have to step back again. Not everyone wants to be great, right? Not everyone wants to be great. And I am in no position again to tell other people how to live their lives. It's for the people who want to be great, but have the audacity to go into a field that they're not even passionate for. They think they're going to be great in that field. It's like, no, think again, you
Like,
know? But if your goal is to have a beautiful family and to raise a beautiful kids and have a great wife and enjoy a nice calm like life, I that's beautiful, that's great for you. But I mean, to each their own, right?
this nigga doesn't miss. I really don't like everything I want to say, right? You kind of like interpolated and like, it's like, because I'm asking like,
I think that.
I'm horrible at articulating my words and all that, because it's kind of like, that's why like I just kind of like I kind of vent through like writing and like just singing and all that, because like that like I feel like that expresses more what I'm feeling over like me just going, all right, dear diary, day one, like today I was feeling quite famished,
Yeah,
like, like that's that, like, it's lame, like it's so basic. We see it in like
yeah,
all,
yeah, yeah,
like, if you want to, what I've been what I've been saying, yo, actions over words. No matter in anything you do, Y- you want to prove to me you have my back?
yeah.
Cover me one time at the store or whatever. Something, well, like something small goes so. It's like it's not even a joke, bro. Bro. I've gotten out of situations just like just because what's it called? Like, I happen to be nice to like a nigga once randomly, and then the same nigga came back, or like something connected to him was in the area when I was in trouble, and he was just kind of like, yo, like, step off my man right quick, like, I know him. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like,
Mm,
and then going off that, it's like I feel like I struggle with like a dual black collective consciousness, where it's like, uh, 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 going back to the free thinking joint, right? It's like split
yeah,
my brain in half. On the right side, it's it's more like I think with the group. It's like what they're thinking, I want to be part of, just because all of us are like comrades, we're in like camaraderie, like, oh yeah, BLM, oh yeah, hate white people, oh yeah, do this and that, oh yeah, I hate women.
yeah.
What? And then like on the left side, it's like maybe I don't want to listen to rap. Maybe I want to listen to jazz. Maybe I want to listen to bluegrass. Maybe I want to listen to like harp music. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe I think Black Lives Matter is absolutely stupid, and it is. But I'm gonna I'm gonna save that for later. But it's just stuff like that. I struggle with it because, like, depending on the context, it's like I can easily fit a role in like less than a second. But when you back away from that and go back to like what you actually think and believe, it's like it hurts because, like, you don't know who to be
Yeah.
part,
The
or like,
thing is, bro, like what I my own experience, like what you're saying, like I think the thing that really resonated with me is like the music, because I think that music is a way that like like my friend Abdulaziz is part of the Sassians. He always he say like, "Yo, music influences the way that you think." Like he always used to be like had that conviction, and I was like, I never maybe thought about it too deeply, but it's very true. But I think what's to be said there is like I listen to some oud, like some Arabic just instrumental music, and then I'll go and listen to some Kanye West or some Jay-Z, and then I'll go listen to some jazz, and then I'll go listen to now my new thing is deep house music. I love deep house music. And then I'll go listen to some like my friend will play some country. Like it's like you don't have to like be restricting yourself to one area. And the truth is like when someone says be yourself, it's confusing advice because there's multiple selves, right? And so you're describing this like, you're going off like the right and left hemisphere idea of the brain, right? The localization of the brain. That's like the psychological theory. You're going off that idea and you're saying like, okay, it's a split. But the truth is if you marry them, there's no problem because actually if you marry them, that's the true you. It's like you have to allow yourself to have that spontaneity, like to be like, okay, right now I feel like listening to jazz music. That's the like because music articulates experience, right? So it depends on how you're feeling, your emotion, what's going on in your life. If there's a girl that you're in love with, or if your friend just stabbed you in the back, or all these things that articulate your life. And so you listen to different music and it describes the way that you feel in different depths and like,
Yeah, like, I think, yeah, literally, like it's this is why I've been saying one of the things I live by and will never stop living by is this goes true especially for, I mean, it's for anyone really, but I find it more to be more tied to like the black identity, if that makes sense.
mm,
Look, I can be up here, I can enunciate every syllable and every word I'm saying as of right now, but it's like, bruh, let yourself be ignorant sometimes. Go out, go party, go like literally go. No one's stopping you. Go ahead, do it. If you feel like doing it, be my guest. But then when you get back and you feel all like lame just because you don't have like that energy like anymore, that's okay. Thrive in what's going on in that
exactly.
knocked over the
You're
curb.
no, you're touching on something really important, and it's acceptance. Because like you're like so there's two extremes. We already talked about the left extreme before. The left, like even we can even make this like a political argument. In the left, you become too caught up with the group thinking. You become trying to do everything that everyone else is doing. You're like partying all the time. You're saying things that like you're saying like slang that you don't even like really understand. All this shit, right? And then on the other way, you start becoming all like articulate and like too good for things. Like you're too good to be ignorant sometimes, or too good to have fun sometimes. Like,
Yeah,
and that's on the right. And so that's in the conservatives. That's it's a conservative. Like that's what it essentially means. So like there's pathology on both sides. So it's all about correcting yourself. It's all about being balanced. You got to be able to feel when one side is weighing too heavily on you, and then keep yourself balanced. Because the truth is, if you're veering too far to the left or too far to the right, there's something going on with you that you need to figure out. Like it's a result of some unsolved problem within you that's expressing itself in this way. And so that means that you have to go back to the drawing board and figure out what it is that you're going through in that period of life and try to navigate your way out of it. So I think that you're touching on a really good point, that it's not just a problem on that side, but it's also a problem on that side. So you have to try and always stay in the middle.
yeah. Like I can't like I can't stand somebody who just always like who just doesn't want to like who's just not trying to get this money, who's like not trying to do this and that. But then again, at the same time, other times it's like I can't stand a nigga who's just always trying to like be like, well, contrary to popular belief, like
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
like this is you and this is you. Bring them, let them congregate, mush them together, form you, my nigga.
exactly,
Like like
exactly.
like niggas always like, Mo thinks he's too good for like being what's it called, like a whore, because he's been on semen retention for like a year and a half now. But in reality, it's like you have this, but then on this side, it's like I see a badge on. I'm like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still have like that like childish sense
Yeah,
in
I
me
mean,
where it's like,
you're a man at the end of the day. Like, look, like, and like with certain things in your life, you have to like you have like look. I think in certain like things, you have to have strong values. You know, you have to be like, I will never do this. You know,
yeah,
like the human being needs some sort of rigidity. Like you need to like be like, for me personally, like I tell myself, I will never take any of these drugs that you guys like. I'm not doing coke. I'm not doing Xannies.
yeah,
I'm not doing any of that shit because I know myself. I know myself, and if I were to get there, I have an addictive personality already. It's not going to end up pretty for me, you know? And like, so it needs to have their own rules. And so, you know, even with this balance thing I'm talking to you about, there should be some things that you don't sacrifice. You need to have some core values, you know? But then I'm going to say, okay, I'll do psychedelics, right? But then some other person would have a different thing, be like, oh, I never do psychedelics, but I do all other shit. And so it's again, and this is just an example I'm saying with drugs, but you need to have certain things that you don't compromise, no matter what anyone says to you, because you know yourself, right? And often our values we get from our parents, right? Our parents raise us in a certain way and they establish certain boundaries, right? They make certain lines in the sand that you shouldn't cross. But part of what it becomes to become an adult, part of what it means to become an adult or to become a man is to critically analyze those lines in the sand and be like, are my parents' values my values? And you're trying to, and sometimes I transgress my dad's values and I find out, oh, he was right. And sometimes I transgress my dad's values and found out he just had that line out of his own fear,
yeah,
you know? And that's okay. Like they can both be true. He could be right sometimes and wrong sometimes. He's a human being after all. You want to live your life, you know?
yeah. Like, I don't really get people who like. I mean, I probably never will get people who are like this, but it's just the people who like who struggle with like. I'm talking about myself because I was I was like this I was like this and I bet many other people were like this at one point, but it was at a point where it was like I was like I don't know I don't know how to like word this, but it's more like people
Try
people
your best.
people like acting out of fear, right? Rather than like what they just want to do. Like cuz
Yeah.
one like once I like it could be something small like you want to get like something from like the food store or whatever, but then like either like it's like a long ass line behind you and you don't want to like hold it up or whatever.
Mm.
Like order whatever you want. Like at that point in time, I'll take that. Like no, take your time, bro. Think about
Yeah.
it. S- step to the side for a
I know
bit.
exactly what you're saying.
It's like once you internalize that perfection is relative, and once what's it called that like people don't understand that you this is your first and last chance. You literally don't do anything after this. Once you're gone, like do you? This is your life. This is your canvas. Do whatever you want, bro.
Exactly.
Even if even if like even if niggas don't like agree with you, it could be your own parents for all I care. You know what I'm saying? Like if they don't want you to do something, but you just feel like doing it and you don't have any like guilt over doing it or whatever, just go ahead and do it. Like sc- like
Yep. Yep. I think like that's some of the best like advice you can give anyone, right? Because it's
like,
like the one thing I would tell people is you have to do the groundwork first, right? If you're gonna live your life in that way, which I think is the most liberating way to live your life, and that's the way I live my life. You also have to make sure that you're educating yourself. You have to make sure that you're aware. You have to make sure you're self-aware, that you know who you are, right? Because it's like if I'm gonna be me, but I don't even know who me is, then it's gonna be a pretty weird, tricky, fucked up journey, right?
yeah,
And not that's not to say that the journey is gonna be easy if you know yourself, but it's to say that you need to have certain things that you refer back to, right? You need to have certain references in place. You need to have some knowledge. You need to have knowledge of yourself. You have to have knowledge of the world. You have to have, and then I would say, go do whatever the fuck you want to do out there. You know, liberate yourself from the chains that is your family, your culture, your religion, whatever it is, whatever you feel as though it's oppressing you or holding you back. Let it go if it doesn't work for you. You know, and this goes into religion. It's like if you're raised in a certain religion, but you find out as you get older that that religion isn't serving you. You know, some people will disagree with me vehemently. They'll be like, oh, you're supposed to serve religion. Religion isn't supposed to serve you. And it's like, sure, but your whole ideological framework is based on a myth. And the reality of that myth, you know, I'm sorry, but it's like about this shit.
No, literally, like, like, bro, like, bro, you suck. Like, like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, but are we gonna piss off about 40 plus people with that comment? But end of the day, it's like this is my podcast. This is my conglomerate. Like, I really
Hey,
don't.
look. I the thing is, bro, like with the whole religion thing, and I want to get into it just because it's like, I don't know, because we're in Ramadan right now, right?
Yeah.
We're in Ramadan right now, and this has given me a lot of time to reflect about my own faith, you know, and my own the way that I experience God, you know, the way I experience all these things, and my relationship with God's always been a rocky one, you know. We've never had like my relationship with God is just like my relationship with my father. It's never been like, you know, it's been very rocky. But I think that just like my relationship with my father, my relationship with God is starting to get a little clearer. And um I'm not sure if and this is gonna like the Islamic framework is exactly what my relationship with God lives within, at least entirely, you know. Um and we can get into it any way you want to get into it, but I just thought that that was something I should throw out there.
Low key, I kind of wanted to say something, but like, it's like my thoughts, and then the month of Ramadan. It's like, no, no, no. Like,
It's oppressing.
no mumkin. If I say something right now, I bet you might like. I'm about to commit zina with my mouth. like, like, you know what I'm saying? No, but like we can get into all that at, like at a later date because that's a whole that's a whole nother conversation. But I don't know. I mean, for me personally, like me and God, like that's my nigga right there. But like at the same time, it's like he just be doing stuff like 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 let me give you a good example, right? My own mother. This is something
Yeah.
that this is something that really most people would look at me and be like, why are you laughing about this? That's objectively horrible to joke about word. But
Sure.
my mother has always been a woman of like incredible intuition, and that's probably where I get mine from. But like she's announced things randomly, Gida, that nobody even like not even that we know about it, but like it's like oh no, it wouldn't happen. Stuff that hasn't even come to fruition yet, like years or months before, and then it happens,
Mm.
and she's like, "Hey, remember the one time I was like," and all of us just staring at her like, "What?" Like it was one time. It was one time. It was one time. I was going into middle school, right? And my mother, if she looked at me, غريب كده one day, and she was like, I'm getting visions from God, kidda. Like I see things in my dreams sometimes. Well, I used to doubt that back in the day because I'm like, "Pfft, whatever." But then she was like, I feel like something bad is gonna happen this year for you. I don't know why. And I was like, okay. And I'm like 11. I'm like, okay, whatever. Let me go play with my toys, or whatever. So I ended up getting kicked out of my first year middle school for whatever reason. And I'm looking at her like, how did you do
Oh,
this? And then another time that happened, it was I was I was chilling doing laundry, folding laundry, and she gonna come up to me and just wait till I'm done and go, Muhammad. I'm like, yeah. She goes, I've she's like, I've had horrible visions about you. I'm like, yeah, what kind of I'm like, yeah, what kind of visions? She gonna go, she gonna go, I feel like you're gonna die in like a horrible way, kid. Or like it's gonna be so like wrong, like you didn't deserve it. And I'm like,
mm,
what? And keep in mind, this is after I'm convinced her visions are like somewhat based in like reality. I'm like, okay. And
okay.
then she had another one last month where she said, I'm where she said, I'm not gonna make it to 25. And she doesn't joke about it, so like she was dead serious. Like, quote me on this. I'm gonna keep this recording for future purposes. If if I don't if I don't make it to 25, buy me a platinum casket.
Look, I'll do it. Like I'll do it. I promise I'll do it. But like
But like
like you
it's
have my word. Like just record it. The platinum casket.
platinum. I want a platinum casket with with the Pokeball from Pokemon, like the
Oh
logo.
wait. Compromise a little bit. Wait. You want the platinum and the Pokemon. You
Oh,
can't have both. All
oh
right.
yeah. All right, but let me get the plat. Let me
Come
get
on.
the platinum casket. Just made of
Platinum.
just pure
No, pure? No,
pure platinum.
I was talking about getting like some like design on the wood, with platinum, but the whole thing is
You are a cheapskate, my nigga.
hey, how much that shit would cost?
Probably the mortgage on my crib, but yeah. Anywho, I'm gonna let you have this one.
More.
I want a wooden casket with the little like the sequins around. How about that?
Look, I'm not gonna make promises that I can't keep, but let me tell you something, bro. Like with this whole scenario, like with this intuition vision thing, like I think you're implying that there's something supernatural going on, that like maybe your mom through God's eyes is seeing things ahead of time that haven't even made themselves in the slightest bit apparent in current and present reality. But what I think is that it's a combination of different things. Like sometimes a great intuition is just being very observant. So like say you're in a group of friends and then one person tells you this person is going to do X, Y, and Z to you in the future, right? Say this person is going to backbite you or this in the future. This person could have been sat at that table the entire time, keeping an eye on everyone, and he's seen the way that different people react with one another, and he's seen that one person is very disingenuous, and one person is very, he's 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 sly and he's not fully honest. He's shady, you could say,
Yeah,
and they could predict something in the future. And then one can call that a supernatural vision, or you can call that being someone being extremely observant, right? And
yeah.
in different scenarios, it can unfold in different ways. But I think something as even if as a Muslim, you should believe that no one knows when their time is, and no one knows when anyone else's time is, as
Mm.
a Muslim, right? For speaking in the month of Ramadan. And so from that perspective alone, then I think it's best that you kind of try to circumvent those things that your mom is telling you and not take them with a grain of salt. Because I think also there's another danger that happens here, which are self-fulfilling prophecies. You know, if you are sure that your mom has this sort of intuition and she tells you certain things, you may act in a way as to make what she said manifest itself,
Just so you can be
right?
like, oh, she was right
So
though.
like that's a
Yeah.
danger. You could put yourself in
Yeah.
dangerous situations unlike. unconsciously, like not you're not consciously being like, oh, I know this, I'm gonna go do it, but it just happens. It unfolds in your life.
Just like
And so what I would say is you have that conversation with her. I think you tell her like, yo, like you have a conversation with her about X, Y, and Z. This makes me feel this, and just get to the bottom of it. And if that isn't possible, then just try your best to
just yeah.
do that.
Yeah, like just just keep it pushing. Just keep up what I was doing before I heard that. Because like
Exactly.
chances are, it, it's probably nothing. If she just got scared for like whatever reason.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like I can't really like fully. I'm not saying it's gonna because I don't believe it's gonna happen at all. Honestly speaking with you, but I can't really like deny it. So like that's gonna be a thought in like the deepest recesses of my mind for the next like however long until I forget about it completely. But
Mm. Yeah, that sounds like a hard thing to take. But I think honestly, like you should hold your mom accountable for saying something like that. Because I'm trying now to imagine my mom saying something like that to me, and I could imagine the impact that would have on me, you know?
yeah,
Um, look, look, man, I'm gonna tell you this. Like every human being is flawed, parent or not parent. Parent are simply just human beings. Think of yourself, but yourself with kids, a little bit more years of wisdom under your belt, right? You're still going to be incredibly flawed, and you're still going to have fears, and you're still going to have problems. The real problem is when parents project their fears onto their children. And that tends to happen. And everyone's parents do that to a certain extent. But part of what it means to become a man, part of what it means to become an adult is to critically analyze everything your parents have told you and the way that they raised you.
oh yeah,
It's not to say throw it all, but it's to sort the wheat from the chaff.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, bro. I know what you mean. Yeah, but that only becomes a problem when you do it to the point where you just kind of like whenever they try to tell you anything after a certain point, it's like, oh no, like I only know better. Like y'all got like the old way of thinking. It's like there is no old
Mm.
way of thinking, right? Like,
But
like,
there is.
like, like my way of thinking right now is gonna be considered outdated in like 20 years from now. 20 uh, like if I have kids, they're not gonna take me serious with half the stuff I say. I bet you, and that's okay because I'm gonna let them form their own conclusions about things. Because
Yeah.
I don't want them to play the game on a new save file with like all of the missions already done. They're gonna have them do like the
Right.
little like quests here and there that I scattered. I want them to hop on like a brand new clean save file so they can start their own journey, game, whatever. And then like why
Yeah.
you think what's it called? Something dumb like a Pokemon game has a new game option. Why would you want to play on someone else's reality? They've already had their time. They've done what they want to do in whichever order they want. Like, let them do them.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can still influence and give them like tips and pointers, like beginners, not beginners luck, like beginners like wisdom. I guess if that makes sense because like you've played the game of life already up until that point, and they're
Yeah.
like a brand new slate, like like obviously some things to note for beginners tips. Hey, don't kill anybody. Hey, don't burn down a building full of puppies. Hey, man, don't do this and that. And then if they choose to do it for whatever reason, I mean, you tried. Like,
That's the thing. Like you
yeah,
can tell like a child, you can tell a child not to put their hand on the stove as many times as you fucking want to, but children are dumbasses and like they'll do it. And when they do it, they'll find out the hard way that it you do. Sometimes the only way is pain, you know, like I know I'm like that. I'm hard headed as shit. So like, sometimes my parents told me or warned me against it, and consequences, right? But now I'm much more, strong. I have a much stronger conviction over my values because it's like I know what happens when you go down that road. It wasn't just the case that someone from that road told me, "Oh no, don't go down there. There's a lot of shit down there." No, I went down there myself and I saw the shit and I got myself out of this shit and I corrected course. And now I can tell you that's the wrong road. But I'm the kind of person that needs to go down that road before he can tell you, or before I'm convinced that's the wrong road to take. I need to drown. I need to almost die and get myself out of there and get myself back on course to understand.
Yep, yep.
But every human being is different. Every human being is different. And I think you're similar to that in some ways.
Now I feel like we're in the same vein of individual, I'd say. But then again, even then, we still have our own little, you know what I'm saying, little ticks like here and there. Like you may prefer this, I may prefer that. Uh, you may be you you may be like accepting of this and that. I may think that's lame and dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then again, it's like we can still have like intelligent conversations and not want to like kill each other just because one of us likes pineapples on pizza and the other doesn't, you know? Like, and
Exactly. That's the best like that's the best way to put it. Like it's not about like all these preferences that one may have, like you may have different preferences, I may have different preferences, we like different things. So what? That's irrelevant. The fact of the matter is that if you can understand someone and the reason for their motives behind, I always say it's not about the what, it's about the why. you know it's always the why. Like two people can be completely different in outward appearance and what they do, and like outwardly if you were to look at them you're like, oh, these people do not work. But if you were to assess their motives behind their actions, you would see that there's a lot of continuity between the two people. And I think that that's the truth. If it's the motives and people understand each other's motives, and that's what makes a good relationship, you know
that's kind of like the framework for every villain ever, really. People just don't know why or how they function. I mean, they know what they're doing and how they're doing it, but not why they're doing it. And that's why these little backstories are so important, whether it comes to villains in fiction or people IRL, because like you really don't know a person until you sit down and have a conversation with them. Literally, like that's
again, but look, I really have to interrupt you there, just because like there's one thing that like I think that, again, we have to draw some lines. Like there's people who say like, what's it called, um say if you were to hear Hitler's story, right? If you were
yeah,
to hear Hitler's story, you were to sit across the table from Hitler and he told you his life story, would that make him any less horrible of a person? No. you know no, it wouldn't. Even if I knew all the whys behind Hitler, it wouldn't make him any less bad of a person. you know I
yeah,
think, again, that we, like, although there's so much subjectivity in this conversation, there's so much nuance, that there has to be some form of objectivity. Remember I was telling you earlier, there's values you can't sacrifice. There has to be this sort of same idea, this objectivity that you can't sacrifice no matter what the why is.
yeah. In that case, would do you blame Hitler or do you blame his subordinates, his generals, and his lieutenants for doing what they did? Cause like we have the source of the hatred. That's Hitler right there. But then again, like if it spreads to other people and affects them and makes them do what the host wants them to do you blame the host or do you blame the people?
I blame both, but like you can look into this in a lot of ways. You can look into this in terms of Hitler was literally, he was a leader. In a lot of ways, he was. But I don't look. The thing is, I don't think Hitler was disposable. I don't think that, like, if it wasn't for Hitler, then if it wasn't for Hitler, the Holocaust wouldn't have happened. I think that's a true statement. I don't think that his any person, then the same outcome would have occurred. I think maybe an outcome. similar ways, but that the way that it turned out, no, I don't want to get too abstract. But what I'll say here is that, like, look, you can look at this psychologically and assess why all of these people did what they did. People under Hitler, I'm saying, the Nazis, right? How can you act so in such an evil manner against other human beings? It's something called othering. You make other people and to define them in terms of the other, right? The Jews were the other. They were stories made up about the Jews and about what they did and about who they were as people. And there was a collective understanding of Jews in a certain way. And there was a collective complicitness in the way that people acted, right? And I can relate this to my own experience in the UAE. This may sound unrelated, but there's a whole slave class in the UAE. They bring workers from Bangladesh, from Pakistan, from India, from, you know, they work, not minimum wage would be an overstatement or understatement, I should say. They work at base for basically nothing. They work for crumbs, right? And they live. I've been to one of their rural areas, and essentially, if you can imagine it with me, it was like a hallway that was like maybe um, maybe like, let's say, 20 meters long, and there were rooms on either side, and each room was smaller than a studio. It was around the size of, it wasn't too big at all, right? But the point is that it was a room that was meant to be for one person. That was the size of it, and there were like 7 to 8 people per room. People would lounge out in the hallways, and they'd have their phone charged and sitting on the floor. And just imagine how many people are there. These rooms are meant for one person. There's 7 to 8 people, and there's approximately 8 rooms in that hallway. Imagine that in your mind, right? And so that exists. But and I'm going to connect this to Hitler as a whole other story. But it's in Abu Dhabi and in the UAE, when you're there, there's a whole complicitness. Everyone's like, okay, this is normal. This is a norm. This is okay. It's okay to have people like this. It's okay to live in this. When you leave, you go elsewhere, you're like, huh, that was pretty fucking weird, right? That was pretty fucking bad. But that's the power. If everyone around you is complicit in some sort of calamity or tragedy or injustice, then you too become indoctrinated with that idea that it's okay.
Like, I'm like, I'm marinating right now. So I'm marinating. I'm just kind
Yeah,
of.
I threw a lot at you.
Yeah, you kind of just like, you know, like I need like I can get to catch all of that. But one of the reasons I just be doing whatever I want. It's not it's not to prove a point really. It's kind of just to like, cause like niggas like Hitler and like the niggas who do like the and the motherfuckers who do like the Armenian genocide, the Rwanda genocide, all of them, right? Just objectively evil people, right?
Yeah.
I I can't just be doing whatever because they're gonna do them, right? So like, why should I have to act around them? I mean, I will obviously. I'm gonna condemn them. I'm gonna like do this and that, right? I'm gonna like hate them. I'm gonna spread awareness on my Instagram story and all that. You know, it's like the I'm gonna get into white women in 1 second. Speaking about Instagram story, but like I don't know. What do you think about people who kind of like just like act in between the lines, not really being good or bad? Because good or bad is relative, obviously. Like what they think is good
To some
could be like,
extent. Yeah.
could be like everything that's negative to us. For example, like waking up, the first thing I do is like First thing I do is smoke, text somebody, stay at the house for like 14 hours, come back drained, knockout, hangover, whatever, and just rinse and repeat until they die, whatever. But it's like, how do you feel about people who do that, who kind of just like sit on the ass all day and like don't really contribute anything to the human state? But then again, it's like, if you ask me, I can't really like. If you ask me, I'm not really gonna blame them because like that's just them. Like just let them be. Like y- you're not gonna change them. Even if they listen to you, they're probably gonna like take what you hear, just whoop, like you know.
So wait, are you asking like let me try to see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you're asking. Are you asking like someone has their own way of life, and if someone has a way of life that say isn't productive, how I feel about that?
I'm talking about like the rejects of communities, so on, so who kind of don't contribute anything to better or like make even worse. Because contributing can be doing something good, uh, doing something good for the people and doing something bad for the people as well. But it's like, how do you feel about those like on like an alignment chart, for example, where it says like how do you feel about true neutrals? True neutrals who kind of just chill and just don't really do anything. Do you hate them or do you like?
Look, the way I feel about them is, oh, okay, that's the question. I don't like this. Like, there has to be people like that in the world, right? Like, if you were to think of, like, there has to be people like that. There has to be someone like that, right? They're filling that spot of that kind of person, right? It's to me, it doesn't affect my life necessarily, but what it do is that it's one less I have to worry about on my way to the, it's like
Yeah.
they're just chilling, they're not doing anything, they're wasting their time. They're one less obstacle that I have to jump over, one less hurdle that I jump to my way to the finish line. you know that's what it is to me. Like, they're out of my way, really.
What
um I don't mean mere obstacles, but I just mean it to say that, like, it doesn't affect my life, and I don't feel any grievances towards them. I have no problems with them.
Speaking of that, I've been on my I've been on my villain ish lately. I'm not gonna lie. I've been feeling mad demonic. You know what I'm saying? Not because I look like a
What does that
prisoner, but because like I'm kind of like, as of right now, I'm kind of like sheltering that people are chess pawns mentality. And I've kind of just been kind of like acting with it to see how it goes. And honestly, the, it's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like like it's like you can really just kind of take people in your life and just put them in certain roles and like that's it. And then you just worry about yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, that's really interesting because I sorry to cut you off, bro. Finish what you're saying.
No, I'm done. I was just saying, like, how do you feel about people who like instinctively like not who just want to act like that and like it's working for them at least? Do you hate me for doing that?
You know, who's- do you know who it's working for really well? The ex-president of the United States,
Oh
former
yeah.
president of the United States, Donald Trump. Like, I watched this documentary, and there's this person that was interviewed. I can't remember the person exactly, but they were asking him about Donald Trump, like who he is as a person. There's someone who's close to him, and she was like, I think it was a woman. She was like, Donald, he's really good at finding someone's weakness, finding people's weakness.
What?
He can read people really well. And once he reads someone and he finds their weakness, he exploits their weakness, right? So everyone is being vulnerable, particularly vulnerable in one area. Trump is a person who's very good at finding where you are vulnerable as a person and then manipulating you because on the basis of that weakness, right? And essentially what that means in like the simplest terms is he's really good at using people, right? And so being really good at using people, basically if you're really good at it, because some people are really good at it, you can choose to go down that route. But what you do is you throw out a moral compass, right? So moral compass is needed when you're in a hard place in life, and so you're throwing it out the window. It's like throwing out a valuable tool. You're just throwing it out because it's like fuck it. But what you do is you give yourself a lot more potential, or more potential for material gain, more potential for comfort, more potential for all of these things. But what you do is you take away. You're not going to ever be at peace with yourself. I think, at least in my view of this whole thing, using people as just like a means to further your own ends, you could say, it's going to have a an effect on your own psyche, an effect on your own soul. If you want to, if you like, soul, if you like that word. Um, and so yeah, that's what I'll say about it. Like how I feel about people that do that. They aren't my type of people. I don't want to be around people like that. But if that's the way you want to live your life, then deal with the consequences.
Facts. Facts. It's not like I would say like I'm not engaging in it just because like I feel that way internally. It's kind of just like a I've already like been like at peace with myself for a while now, but it's kind of just to like see shit from like their point of view, right?
No, I actually wasn't directing that at you. I actually understand exactly why you're doing that. I feel like I'm the same in the sense that I like to play with ideas, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
if I don't understand someone, I may try to live life from their shoes and like play around with that idea that I feel like defines them. Like we always create caricatures of people, right? You create a caricature, it's not a full picture. And so like you try to enact that caricature, wear that hat of that person, right? And then like live a day wearing that hat. But what happens and what can happen, and this is my experience doing that, is that you can forget that you have a hat on, and that you acting and doing that can just become you doing that. That's how stupid human beings are. We're so stupid that like you could see something and replicate it under the guise of like, okay, this is someone else's action, but then you get and you know,
Yeah.
it's a tricky thing, man. It's like it's look doing that. I'm the same way. I'm gonna keep doing that probably,
Yes.
but
Oh
you
God.
just have to be. You're playing with fire. You're playing with fire. That's
Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna say.
I'm saying fire is destructive and hot, but I'm more dangerous. I think at least.
It's a powerful tool. It's a powerful tool.
It is. No doubt, no doubt. But what was I gonna say? Let's talk white women for a second. Let's forget all of this, you know what I'm saying? It's like let me let me
Yes.
let me be stupid for a minute, right? Nah, back when I was younger, right? I didn't really care who I was like who I had a thing for, right? But it was at one point in like my first second year of high school, I was like licking the shoes of these white bitches for whatever reason, right? And that wasn't even because like that wasn't even because I actually liked them or whatever. I was lost. I was horrible. I was doing horrible for myself. But and then I know I'm getting deep again, but like the reason why I waited
Do
this
it.
long, the reason why I waited this long to shave my head, right, is because almost all of my best memories in life come to when I was rocking this hairstyle. So I kind of like like connected hairstyles with points in my life, right? So it's like when I was bald, everything was going excellent. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't worry about anything. I really, I really didn't have any. I mean, I had problems, but like I kind of just took them and like beyond with it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
this was when I was about like 5, 6 years old, and then I so I go in a barber, grow my hair out, get an afro about 7 inches off my scalp, and then that's when I realized that hair held energy, and I was holding in so much negativity that my dumbass decided to literally compress it and twist it and braid it and do all that good stuff. So like I'm essentially a beacon of hate at this point. So then, so then
Mm.
this past year comes, quarantine comes. I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, like I let myself go. Like people, people that rumor back in 2012, the world finna end on Christmas or whatever, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah,
12, 12, 12.
yeah, 12, right? Oh no, we're fine, but the world did end because I everything hit different after that date for whatever reason. I just didn't feel like the same, and then that was that was when I kind of had to like navigate in like a meaningless world, if that makes sense, at that point in time. But now that quarantine kind of came and like not reset things, but kind of gave me like a taste. Because if you ask me right now, I can't even remember how life was pre 2012 that distinct, that like clearly. I can remember some bits and parts of it, but it's like quarantine kind of gave me like a small piece,
It's blurry.
kind of like here, hold that, and I tasted it. I'm like, I need to get back, do whatever I can. So let me recreate exactly how I was physically and mentally, hopefully. And now we're here. I feel great, honestly. I feel like a kid again. But yeah, and then
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that, man.
like, do you like
You look good too, bro. I like the bald cut, man.
word? Man, I'm
Yeah, bro.
bro, like
I couldn't have pulled it off myself.
now you can, bro. You definitely can. Just kind of like get this to be a little bit thicker and then just kind of wrap it around like that. Get you right and all of that. But
Nah, man, that's all you, man. That's all you. I'd be doing it a disservice. I'd be doing the haircut a disservice if I tried.
I don't know, but nigga called me a buff Rick Ross the other day. I was like, damn.
I don't really see. I see like a younger Qurashi, bro.
No, no, bro, no, no, literally, bro. My mother saw me. She was like, she was like, she sent the photo. She sent the photo to that nigga. He responded. And he was like, yo, what the heck? Because like from the back, my head is shaped the exact same way. My ears point out in the same direction. I bet you if we stand side by side and we take a photo from the back, like it's like this.
Yo, that's so true. I see so much of Qurashi in you, bro. I swear to God.
It's the same nigga. It's just like Mark II.
I
But
swear to God, bro.
forget my family, bro. How's the fam, bro? What's going on?
Oh, they're good, man. They're that right now, just like a little bit. The family's like a little bit collectively stressed. Just 'cause it's just going like she's probably moving out here to Pennsylvania, during the summer, and so you know how parents are like when their kids are leaving and shit. So she's probably gonna come live with me. So that's making them a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, but they're all doing good health wise, bro. Like my grandma's visiting in Abu Dhabi, so she's doing Ramadan with them from Sudan. Came uh, went to Abu Dhabi and is fasting with them. They're all doing good, man. They're all doing good. Can't complain.
Alhamdulillah, bro. Like, bro, life is great, bro. I don't know. I niggas be tripping about life, but what's it called?
That's
Um,
the thing, right? That's the thing. Like you gotta like, yo, you gotta just like I'm someone who, and I think you're the same. Like we think like we're very introspective and like we think a lot about things and critically, and all that can take a strong toll on your mental health, no matter how good it can be and how critical and how insightful your insights may be. Insightful your insights may be. Look at me. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to like take a break and just look outside and be like, "What a fucking sunshine." I mean, in the case of Pennsylvania, it's never fucking, like the
yeah,
sun comes up and life goes on. Life is beautiful in a lot of ways, you know.
like you kind of just have to have the juice to like navigate through it, like and kind of like oil out all like the leaky,
Yeah,
like the squeaky parts and all that. If you don't have the juice, you're gonna be niggas go from ashy to classy. I've never heard anybody who goes from classy to ashy, right? But
mm,
I've never heard of anybody who did it before. Like me, I know it's not a matter of I hope or in the future. It's a matter of when it happens. I'm gonna do this and that and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, my dream school before I even hit apply, right? No, I'm doing the application. My pop is like, yo, Pop's like, yo, make sure you do a so and so for this school and this school. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna put everything I have into this one, because
mm,
when I get in, I can easily do like the essays and whatever, because I know the area, and
yeah.
you know what I'm saying. And he was like, it's not guaranteed. I was like, oh no, it is.
And which school is this?
I don't want to dox my address, but you know what I'm saying,
Hey, okay, I see you.
I'm almost leak my address, and niggas finna start sending me like pizzas and shit. But what's it called? Um, yeah, like I've been living life by when and not if, because like it's when.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, when I make my empire, when my net worth is a few 100,000, when what's it called? Start my own label. When I do all this stuff, it's not like
Yes, sir.
I'm already happy right now. Honestly, I'm chilling, but I,
That's a great place to be, bro.
I'm just
Y-
like
like you're describing exactly what I'm saying, bro. Like you won before you're gonna win. Like if you're already like you already know what's gonna happen. You're already happy. You're already doing the things that it takes to get there. What more is there to what more is there? You know what I'm saying? Like you won, bro. Like I think that we have to like champion ourselves a little bit more sometimes and be like, like whatever may be going down, whatever L's we may take, whatever this that, bro, we have a vision. Bro, we're working towards the vision. We're grateful. We're living life. We're breathing. We're winning. We're winning.
young nigga.
We're Sudanese in America, bro. We don't you don't understand what that means. We're Sudanese in America. Like our people back home, like they don't have that luxury. Like we're Sudanese in America. Let me say it again. We're not supposed to be here.
No, literally, I'm not even. Nigga, who are you, bro?
Yeah.
Like, nah, let me. Uh, that reminded me of something, bro. I'm I'm in a group chat full of niggas all going to my school, right? And not only
Yeah.
not only do they fuel my hatred for white women even more, but everything they do, I'm biding my time to go out there and de-gentrify their neighborhood. Like I'm doing everything I can, and I'm not gonna go in there blasting so and so music and smelling like straight pack. But I'm gonna just go in there and just show them what a real nigga is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts.
but it's like that whole like we're winning, we shouldn't be here right now. That reminded me of I don't even check the group chat sometimes, but I was bored one day, so I was just scrolling through, right? This one girl gonna say, y'all,
Yeah.
I'm sick. I can't go to Cancun this summer.
What?
So they were talking about how they were discussing like a travel and stuff like that, right? And I bet you, I kid you
Yeah.
not, in like the group members' names or whatever, if you scroll down for 30 seconds, because it's probably like 1,000 people in that motherfucker by this point. But if you scroll down for more than 3 seconds, no, 10 seconds, every single name there is like Abby, insert last name here, spelled the exact same way. And then continue down, B, Bethany for like a few hundred people, go down more, Claire, go down,
Um,
Deandra. So I'm I'm reading, and these girls were talking about how COVID-19 is ruining everything and all that, and how they can't travel international like they do every year, because half of these bitches come from the like the West Coast, Malibu, and all that. Half some time about something, yo, I can't go to Paris this summer. Oh nah, bro, I'm sick. Oh no, we can't even ride in the
uh,
Range Rover because it might get muddy because of the rain. I'm like, y'all don't know anything at all. What is like like my
yeah.
like, like shut up.
It's a lack of awareness, man.
Like
It's a
like just,
lack of.
just shut up.
The thing is, bro, it's not even restricted to white women. It's just like it's, and I hate that shit. Like I hate when people like don't understand. Like, and I'm sometimes jaded, but like when people don't realize how many blessings they have and they're complaining about things that like people would wish to. Some
There,
people would wish to have their.
there.
Everyone wishes to have their problem.
Oh god. Oh, there. Niggas are getting displaced because they can't even pay the rent. You talking about some Range Rover getting muddy?
I swear to God, bro. Oh, it's so funny.
That just blow me. And like I'm seeing all type of violations right here. Like it's not even. I can't make this up. I really can't make this up. I, I really don't. I don't. I don't have an excuse for these niggas, nor do I want to make an excuse for these niggas. It's kind of just let them be in their own microcosm in whatever they came from.
Yeah, exactly.
Just I'm gonna just continue
Exactly.
being better and winning like usual.
That's bro, that's a beautiful thing, bro. Like it's a beautiful thing, bro. It's like because acceptance is it's so golden, man. It's so golden when you just the first reaction, my reaction would probably be the same, is to get like pissed and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But like then after that, you just gotta be like, some people are just gonna be like that. I'm gonna try my best to never be like y'all, you know. But I accept that there are people like y'all in the world, and it is what it is,
Like
you
bro,
know. Like a lot of the pain is just removed from accepting, like, yo, that's just the way some things are.
literally, I thank y'all. I thank. Matter of fact, I appreciate y'all niggas so much. Y'all really shown me what I shouldn't be. Thank y'all for existing. Now I know what not to be like.
Exactly. Exactly. Flip every negative to a positive, man. Like that's what I'm in the business of doing. That's what I'm in the business of doing. It's just like flip everything that comes your way that's negative and make something positive out of it, because I think it's possible. Like I want to reach a, like Drake said in Lemon Pepper freestyle, he was like, negative thoughts don't even enter my inner matrix. You know, like that's where I want to be as a person. Like when I ask myself, who do you want to be 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line. I want to be someone who I don't even entertain negative thoughts. Everything negative that comes my way, I just transmute it. I transmute it and turn it to the most positive thing possible. I want to become the most efficient machine at negative input, positive output. That's what I want to be, you know? And I feel like that mentality that will propel you to the greatest of heights, you know? And it will also make your life just much better to live, you know? Because a lot of the pain in your life comes from, even if something isn't negative, you perceive it negatively, and that's what brings you pain. And so perception is a bitch. And so if you can manage and control the way that you perceive certain things, control maybe is the wrong word, but I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. Then life becomes much better and much more tolerable in a lot of ways. Life is always, it makes it a lot more tolerable.
Word up, man. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful, actually. And everybody, y'all watching this, not watching this, whatever, might watch this. Just think better, do better, be better. Even like me myself, I'm Kaslan. I'm not gonna lie sometimes, and that's okay, cause I'm just I'm just like I'm draining. I'm draining some of that, cause if I'm motivated too much to do something, I'm gonna end up burning out, right? So by me by me being lazy for a bit,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like taking
Yo,
my bad thing disconnected. But
you're
like
good.
o- o- if I'm in the process of doing something, and I always am because
You
I'm
were
that.
saying with your laziness, you were saying,
Yeah. I'm saying like if you see me acting lazy for like extended periods and then waking back up and then like getting stuff done for like a month straight without stopping once, and then you just see me like rinse and repeat or whatever. That's just me kind of like gauging the levels of like success. You know what I'm saying? Because it's it's no limit to what somebody can do, but
yeah,
it's a limit to how much you can like force yourself to do at one. I mean, not like force yourself to do, but kind of like it's a limit to like how much one can like output at one time. Because all of us, because like I'm not a machine, you're not a machine. Niggas niggas aren't machines in general, right? So it's like when you take that moment to like do do maintenance, whether it be being lazy, taking a day off, a week, a month off, if you want, and just being lazy, and then you get right back on it whenever you do. I mean, the goal is to get back on it. Don't just do it and then
yeah, bro.
stop.
Look, I would go as far as to say that's not even lazy. It's just called resting, and it's called reassessing.
Yeah,
Because like you have to, because like sometimes like even if you have a certain goal, right, and you work at this goal for a month, and then at the end of the month, you find out something about that goal that maybe it's not the goal that you want. You want a different goal. And so that rest period will allow you to reassess and change course, right? So you're more accurate. Your GPS is more accurate, you know? So it's like it's part of rest is part of the work. Work is part of the rest. Like in order to be the most efficient you can in your work, your rest has to be optimal. Go on a hike, do what you enjoy, love life a little bit, and then come back and hit the grind even harder with some inspiration that you got from your rest. You know, I look at rest as inspiration. You know, it's like I'm going out to party or going out to enjoy time with my friends or having a nice iftar with my friends. Why? Because that's life. My richness. Bob Marley, bro. He was like, the interviewer asked, I'm sure you've seen it. He's like,
oh yeah,
would
yeah.
would you consider yourself a rich man? And he was like, what you mean rich? And he was like, do you have a lot of possessions? And he was like, possessions don't make you rich. My richness is in life. You know, it's like that's the reality, bro. Like that's the fucking reality. Man had millions in the bank, sure, but your richness should be in life. And so that comes back to that resting. Your richness. That's part of your richness. Don't you would be a fool to leave it out.
Bro, like he already I don't remember what you said, bro. The whole like, make sure you make sure you win before you even start. Bob Marley already won. Look at him,
Yeah,
nigga. That's Bob Marley, bro. Like he he he. I've never seen him worry about anything at all.
absolutely not, bro. And look, he probably did worry. He's a human being, you
Yeah,
know.
obviously.
But the most part of his life, you've seen him. He spends life in a way that most people wish that they could spend their lives. And I think that people can strive to that, and people can accomplish that. You know, um, maybe they can't accomplish speaking like him, just like how I butchered his accent so terribly just a couple of minutes ago. But they can. You can accomplish living an equal lifestyle, like a similar mindset, equal lifestyle. You know, you just have to work towards it. It's all work, man. It's all work. Just like how you have to have work to get money, you have to do work, the mental work to get that peace.
And you
Yeah.
don't even and you don't even have to work hard to win. Just work smart. Like literally,
Yeah. Working smart.
it's people my age making more money than I do, and I have like an actual like official like job title. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's it's people making more. It's kids younger than me making times 10 as much as I do in like a week because they're familiar with stocks, for example, and they know how to trade and all that, and they be like watching the charts and all that. They be drawing on little graphs and all that. But it's like the reason why I choose to do what I do and not could not what they doing, at least for now, is because I just I just want to know how it feels like to work like an honest job that's been
Mm.
this job number 4 by this point.
That's actually what I'm trying to do as well this summer. So I feel you.
I want because like the kindest people have worked in fast food. You
Mm.
you wouldn't believe what happens in the back room of a fast food restaurant. Like half of the stuff wouldn't even fly out in public.
Wow.
But since y'all are like behind closed doors and like behind like a management team or whatever, they keep everything like airtight. Like anything that happens, it's just take care of it. That's it. All right, everybody go back to work. Like that's it. A nigga could literally chop off his arm off with a machete on accident, and it kind of just like you just neosporin, bandage, ice. All right, yeah, it's time to get back to work, and that's it. So it's like like me, for example, me having had to deal with customers who've thrown food at me, who've made fun of my religion because of my name, who've who've called me the N word, actually, done all that. I've developed a sense of patience where it's like I simply cannot get mad, like no matter what. Like
Mm.
annoyed, yes, but not like mad to the
It's a
point.
strong power.
Yeah, like it's just very a very strong wall, right? Like I have a firewall for my firewall, right? And it's like when you work these types of jobs, it teaches you something about people because you see hundreds of people every single day, and all of them
Yeah.
all of them niggas come from different places, and they all talking about something different. I've spoken with veterans who've had their legs blown off, an actual survivor of the Holocaust who came to my job.
Uh,
What's it called? I've spoken with local political governors and leaders who came on like an off day in civilian clothes. I'm like, I didn't even after he or she told me that, I was like, you're still a person. Like, bro, you're wearing khakis and Polo Ralph Lauren, bro. You look stupid, but you know what I'm saying? And it's like all these kinds of people. So that's the reason why I'm working all these jobs. It's to kind of experience. That's the very basic reason why. Essentially.
that's really inspiring to me, bro. Because like, yeah, I'm supposed to start like I'm supposed to start this job at McDonald's like next month, and so like a lot of the reason why I'm doing it is part of the same reason. I mean, I want to like I've only allowed myself to interact with people on the basis of them interacting with me, right? But when you're wearing the uniform, that McDonald's logo, and you're standing there, people are interacting you as a McDonald's employee. So that really reveals how people really treat people, you know? How
Like,
they
bro,
treat, yeah.
I'm not about to cut you off, but like, when, exactly, like when you go to work, you're not Latin Sule, man. You're employee number 2400368,
Right.
working from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And until after you clock out, then you're Latin again. But like up, but
Yeah.
like for those 7 to 6 hours, you're just another cog in the system.
That's right.
And do you know how liberating that is to accept that like you're part of like a way bigger picture and like you're not important at all?
Hmm.
Like, like niggas really come into their 9 to 5 thinking they like this shit. Like, like I'm like, yeah, so you go
Yo,
clock in. Like, go put that paper in the machine, my guy. You're late. Like, you're nobody. Like, do
yeah. You're
please,
nobody just like everyone else.
like, please, bro. When you start working, please do tell me what, like, just like what goes on. It's like anything interesting that happens because I've seen a lot working 4 jobs, but like, just let me know
Yeah.
anything
I
that.
bet.
But
I will do that. I will do that.
for sure, man. Yeah, but yeah, man. That's you kind of took like this type of thinking usually be lasting me the whole day. But now you kind of exhausted me for the day, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm glad. I'm glad. It's a pleasure.
You exhausted my joint, bro. My see the veins right here. I got it.
That's some real Kodashi shit right there. That's some real Kodashi shit right there.
You see the castor oil gleaming off my dome.
It's nice. It's shiny. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing that.
I'm saying like smack that joint. But man, I tell you what though,
Well,
I gotta drive to a birthday party soon.
yeah,
What's it called? I'm gonna have to let you go, big bro.
my G. Bro, I really appreciate you having me on, bro.
Yeah,
And
no, man.
I enjoyed talking to you, bro, for real.
Yo, let me know what's it called. Actually, I'll tell you later. But yeah, man, this has been the conglomerate after the long hiatus, season 1, episode 4. This is this is part 1, by the way. We ain't over with this episode. This is the same episode. It's just split into parts. But hope y'all niggas have a good rest of y'all day. I'm about to go wild out.
As you should.
Can you stop spitting for like 2 seconds, bro? Like, just shut up for like just 2 seconds, my nigga. Like, damn. Yo, man. Get off my podcast, bro. What you doing? Get off. All right, y'all.